First story this week. I should have told you, Andy, I was moving stuff around. I'm sorry I didn't, but I just wanted to talk about this one first. The Oscars nominations are getting extended and delayed, maybe. And there was a luncheon that was canceled. What's going on at the Oscars? Are they delaying the show or just some of it? What is this?
So what's being delayed are the announcements, which were supposed to take place on Monday. And it initially got pushed to, so that would have been Monday the 20th. And then they got pushed 2 days to Wednesday. And now they've been pushed again to Friday. And so we're just going to have to wait. They did that so they could extend voting. So we'll have to wait till next Friday to make announcements. The show so far has not been delayed or canceled. Will still happen on March 2nd, I believe. But they're given more time because of the wildfires and the kind of devastation happening right now. So that people can have time to try and see movies if they still can and vote. Surprisingly, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, movie going has not declined in LA despite the wildfires going. Like, the numbers are still good over there, so people are still going to the movies.
Yeah, definitely still need an escape. Yes, there was an official statement released by Academy CEO Bill Kramer and President Janet Yang. Part of that said, quote, "Due to the still active fires in the Los Angeles area, we feel it is necessary to extend our voting period and move the date of our nominations announcement to allow additional time for our members." Very thoughtful and considered, dude. Like, I hear it's pretty rough out there. I think, we all see news every summer that there's wildfires in California. These seem to be real bad. They're all bad, but like these seem real rough. So like, probably for the best. I'm a little surprised they haven't moved the event. I'm sure it's a lot of work. It's less than 50 days out. So like, I know it's a hassle with broadcast rights and venue and whatnot to actually move the Oscars. But boy, if they're going to move it, they're probably going to decide in the next like couple weeks. Cause this is maybe the start of like a couple of dominoes that need to fall to get things to move around. Like, it is crazy that movie going has not declined in LA. Like, again, like you said, you'd think it would kind of fall off, but people still like going to the movies, man. Still what it's about out there, I think. Yeah.
So we'll be back on, depending on when the nominations come out. We were going to be back next week with them. We'll probably have to wait another week before we can talk about nominations.
It's gonna be contentious too, man. Like, I'm still hearing heat about the Golden Globes and how could Amelia Perez have won, and it's a whole thing. We covered that movie on the show, by the way. It's a fine movie. Anyway, another story from a different side of streaming and film watching. Disney, Fox, and Warner Bros. Discovery are scrapping a sports streamer, Venu, which Venue, probably Venue.
Venue, I think.
Venue, yeah. Feels like one of the many streamers that like you never heard of and has a weird name like 2B or Freevee or, Poodoo. What do you know about this one, Andy?
Oh, it reminds me of the the meme of like, oh, it's available on Duty. No, it's available on TV.
Yeah.
No, it's a horror.
Download
like,
PV right now.
Yeah, that's what. So about, I guess, almost a year ago, Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers had come together for a sports app called Venue, where you could watch basically anything but NFL games were going to be on there. And that was going to be a real test to see if that was even going to work. But they were shortly sued by Fubo, which is a real service, a sports streamer, for monopoly reasons, antitrust, running afoul of antitrust laws. And so they've reworked the deal and they've agreed to just kind of work with Fubo, which I can't stop laughing at the name. They've agreed to work with them for distribution, and they've said, we're just going to work with the existing distribution and not create new distribution. So that app is dead on arrival before it could even come out. It was supposed to come out in the fall, in time for fall football. It did not. So it looks like it's been scrapped entirely, and they're instead going to wheel and deal with Fubo.
God bless every venture capitalist in Silicon Valley that ever decided to fund some kind of project with a weird, like, 4-letter name with a couple vowels and consonants in there. Like, oh, it'll be memorable. We'll call it Fubo and venue. And yeah, like, nobody can keep up with these things, dude. That's a bummer for venue. I'm sure Disney and Fox and Warner Bros. Discovery are not hurting for sports streaming rights, but it's lucrative, dude. And I know we don't talk about television a lot on this show, but as far as sports broadcasting is concerned, I cannot begin to understand how complicated the streaming rights are to games and locals and blackout dates and which franchise owns the rights to stream. It's a nightmare. So while there is a lot of money in there's a lot of money moving, changing hands, a lot of money to be made. I don't know how any of these guys start to really wander into that space, except Fox, right? Who obviously already has some sports broadcasting rights. I don't know. I'd say that, and then Disney's got ESPN, for God's sake. I forget they got them, and I'm sure Warner Bros. Discovery has some heat somewhere too. Bummer for venue, right? Before it could even open, the venue is closed.
So I think it's CBS and maybe NBC have basically are the big players in sports, and they're kind of the last bastion of cable TV. If the streamers figure out a way to get their hands on sports and be able to stream sports live and it works and everyone's happy and everyone gets paid, like that will be the end of cable TV probably. But we're a long way from that. A lot of those deals, like they just get renewed. They've had these deals for decades. So that's probably not going anywhere soon, but eventually we'll see where it goes. That would be the probably nail in the coffin for cable.
I'm not like a sports guy by any means. I'm definitely like a film bro, but sports fans deserve better. Like hot take. Shouldn't even be a hot take. It's lukewarm take. Y'all deserve better. Y'all deserve better than having to figure out whether your content's streaming on Fubo or TV or God knows what. Like, I don't know, whatever. Like, everybody go check out Fubo again. No, don't do that. They're not sponsoring this podcast. I'm not going to plug them. They don't deserve it. But yeah, that Fubo and TV is.
Wait on our Fubo checks,
dude. Yeah, they're all a mess. From the box office, Den of Thieves 2 walks away with a winning $15 million opening. I don't know anything about Den of Thieves, Andy. I didn't watch the first Den of Thieves, but then I saw the trailer of Den of Thieves 2 in front of the 7 IMAX, and it looked awesome. So I guess I can't be too surprised here. What do you know about this movie?
I know a little. I know it's too long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I've seen just that trailer again. Gerard Butler, he's like a cop, but he's broke, and so he turns into a bad cop to join in on this heist with O'Shea Jackson Jr. That's the gist of it. There's lots of action, shootouts, car chases, that whole kind of action film. It looks okay. It doesn't look super interesting to me, but it did walk away with The Weeknd. Came in number 1 at 15 million. So a big kind of surprise. But this part of the year is always kind of, it's a weak time because you've just had Christmas and Thanksgiving and all like those big holiday features. And now there's kind of a dearth of product and people they're back to school, back to work. So studios don't really release a ton there. But we also have Mufasa and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in second and third place. Mufasa just crossed 500 million, and Sonic continues to do pretty well, passing 400 million. That's been doing really well. And Moana 2, which came in fifth place, is it's like $10 million away from being $1 billion movie. So it's right there. Those are having good legs from the Christmas releases.
Dude, Disney can do no wrong, especially during the holiday season. I got to stop making predictions around the House of Mouse. Just got to stop. I got to stop. I clearly do not understand the family quadrant as well as I probably should for how long we've done this show. I can't help it, man. Like, what do you want from me? I like the weird stuff, like Zone of Interest. Like, I'm into the bold cinema. And who could blame me? Like, these family features don't do a lot for adults, but my God, if they don't get it for the kids. And that's what's important. That's what Disney's making. It's kid stuff. Good for them. Like, just a couple of banger features back to back. I really did think Sonic 3 was going to do better than Mufasa, and it did at first. It did for a minute. There was a time when Sonic 3 was doing good, but it fell off pretty fast. Meanwhile, Mufasa has legs like you wouldn't believe. Clearly more than the Hedgehog. What happened? Just real quick. I know we don't have a proper article for this. What happened with Better Man? Better Man is bombing in the U.S. Let's talk about it for a second. What do you think's going on with Better Man? I guess we should tell people what Better Man is because they probably don't even know.
Yeah, to remind audiences and listeners, Better Man is a musical biopic about British pop icon Robbie Williams, who many people in the U.S. don't know. I was a little bit familiar with him, don't know any of his songs, but Better Man is his biopic. But they also made the strange, but kind of innovative choice that the lead character is played by a CGI monkey, and apparently it works. Apparently, it's like it works as a movie, and I've heard that it's pretty good and it's been recommended. But it's also no one's going to see it because no one knows who Robbie Williams is. Like that's part of the draw of the musical biopic is knowing who the artist is.
Yeah. And I think people are maybe general audiences are maybe a little scared by the CGI monkey. I don't know. Like I feel like that's something like I don't know. Like I don't mean to say my mom goes and watch musical biopics, but if she was looking at films to watch right now, she'd see that and be like, "Oh, not for me." Like that's all it takes. Like it doesn't take a lot to knock somebody off. And I hear it is stunningly sincere and emotional, and people like it's actually super good. Total respect to that. I just feel like American audiences, like we already saw Bohemian Rhapsody and we saw Rocket Man, and we've seen like the British, young British scrappy kid come up to be a pop star. Like I don't know. I don't think that the CGI monkey does it. I know Michael Gracie, who directed it, did Greatest Showman. That made a ton of money. It's like $450 million off an $80 million budget, so it seemed like a big bet. I don't know, man. I hope it'll get it on streaming. Like, it seems like good art. Like, from what I hear, it's a good movie. But, like, if you can't get people to turn out for it, you just can't get people to turn out for it.
Yeah. So it made just over $1 million, and it was acquired for $25 million by Paramount. So that's tough with them. And it's $100 million movie because it's a lot of CGI. So I think it is doing better in the UK because they're familiar with that artist.
Yeah.
But it's bombing here.
Well, good. Hey, it seems like a really sincere picture. Like, I hope my man gets his flowers somewhere. Like, if not in the UK, then where else? So good. Like, I hope it goes somewhere. I really do. I think there's some talent behind it. I say that having not seen it. One more story I wanted to touch on here that we had on the outline. Wicked, Megan, big VOD sales, which I guess isn't a big surprise, but we got some hard numbers for you.
Yeah, Wicked. Got 70 million in VOD earnings, and the reason that's so big is that the studios keep a lot more of their money. The studios only keep about 50% of sales at theaters, but they keep up to 80% of VOD sales, which is why there was such a big push for things to go to VOD sooner, especially if it's doing badly, because then the studio can more easily recover its losses. So it's doing well, and it's crossed 700 million. So Wicked, huge hit of last year.
Yeah, huge hit. The follow-up, Wicked for Good, is going to be a banger for sure. Unless, I don't know, people start seeing it and they say it's terrible. But like, as far as I can tell, the Wicked community is doing better than ever before. People love it, man. TikTok's all about it. Like, people like Wicked, and good for them. These sing-along shows have been doing good. I don't know. The musical is alive and well, I guess. Yeah, go check out Wicked. And I guess I can't say I'm too surprised by the VOD sales. One of the things that surprised me about Wicked before we move off it was I remember talking a little bit about like the loose piracy around it, people filming clips of it for Instagram and TikTok and stuff in the theater and posting it. And I don't think Universal can do much about that, but it's been interesting. I can't remember the last time I saw so many clips from a movie like while it's still in theaters that are just filmed illicitly and posted on the internet. It's just kind of the way it goes. And like, it's not any kind of tentpole change, but it's interesting. And I wonder if we continue further into people getting excited about a movie and just filming right there in the theater, like where that may end up taking us. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, that's Wicked. And we got to talk about our first film of the episode. I'm really excited to talk about this one. This is different and exciting. I've got a funny story about a couple who saw it in the theater behind me, who I don't know, but I overheard them talking about it at the end. That's it. Andy's taking the summary on this one. So Andy, please take it away.
The Last Showgirl.